It's 7 o'clock, we'll open our regular meeting for May 8th, 2019. We'll start out with roll call.
Lundgren. Here. Morelia.
Here.
Salzman. Fearing.
Here.
Phasing.
Here.
Weimer.
Yep.
Okay, we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda. We have a motion from Deanna, second by Nancy, to approve the agenda as is. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of the April 1st, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the April 1st minutes.
Second.
A motion from Christina, second by Dean, to approve the April 1st regular meeting minutes. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion for the April 15th special meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
We have a motion from Nancy, second by Deanna, to approve the April 15th, 2019 special meeting minutes. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, citizen comments? Do we have any?
I had some to share. I had somebody ask me when cleanup days were again and asked why people already had stuff out. So we really need to get that publicized and out there, that they can't be putting stuff out until the week prior.
Yes.
Most of the people that do should know already.
Yeah, but I don't think they know the ramifications of our fee schedule. So, I mean, if they do put them out there, we can fine them for that if we want to. And I don't think any of us as citizens want junk sitting on the curb for a month.
Nope.
No. So I think we need to just get it out there and let everybody know when it is, when they can put stuff out, what the resolution is, and the ordinances of fee schedule.
It's June 7th, right? I've had some ask and that's what I told them. Anything else?
I've also had complaints about dogs not on leashes, pooping in people's yards, and loud vehicles. Very, very loud vehicles speeding up and down Antelope especially.
Anybody else?
Couple of people that thanked the council for putting everything on YouTube. This particular person watched and didn't get to bed right away, so she's saying thank you.
Anybody else have anything? If not, we're gonna move on to the unfinished business. The tiling for the drainage out on the west, on the Langen and Mike Powell's land and the Kramer properties. We have a copy of this map. Over here on Third Street. That'd be just, right, it says 12-inch inlet there. That starts at Tim Anderson's.
That was one thing that people had wondered. The new people don't know where Tim Anderson lives, so if we could use addresses, that'd be really.
It's on Cornell, between 3rd and 4th Street. But we've got, putting the main line in is what we're looking at to go out across the Langen property, and then out across Mike Bono's and down The last is across the Kramer's where we have an easement already. And that's non-perforated. Up on the Pownell land and the Langen property, that would be, tile with, what do they call that, perforated, where it can drain into it.
That looks like double wall.
Smooth inside, it takes a lot more water.
This is what they were looking at putting in there. This is double walled. And this is single.
Yeah.
This particular pipe, that, the 9, this is 10, we would put in a 12 inch is what we're looking at. And that'll handle 900 and some gallons a minute, 942 gallons per minute, compared to the 12 was, 10 was 368. I'm not sure what the 12 inch in this pipe was,
What
but
are we,
it's,
what are we currently pumping over there right now, Steve? Do you know how many gallons?
All of it is probably 500,000-600,000 a day
Okay,
out that way, between Tim Anderson and us, I mean,
Yeah.
far more than enough.
oh, yeah.
and then we have the bids here also. And then, I know this here is putting in the 28 inch up there on the north end of Mike's thing, or that Langen property.
Behind the storage sheds, that's the 8-inch now. And then there's that 575 feet of 6-inch that goes along there too. And then, like I say, the rest of it is pretty much the 8-inch or the 12-inch, all the way out to the lagoons. To either handle, if we expand onto it or whatever, you gotta have it big enough to do that. So that's why it is the way it is, so.
So we're gonna dump this into the lagoons?
No,
No,
no.
It's right by the lagoons?
There's a ditch on the outside of the lagoons. It'll run in there and it'll just basically run around the lagoon out into the ditch and into that Spring Creek,
Okay.
so.
The Spring Creek watershed, does it doesn't go all the way to Spring Creek, is it?
No, it's what they call it is an unnamed tributary to Spring Creek is what the legal is for our discharge, so.
So this goes from Tim Anderson's side of the road and down,
No, it'll be on the west side, the outlet is right now.
so where would it start then?
Just on the west side of the road. We'll probably have to get the county, we're looking at probably putting a bigger culvert under that, or Cornell there.
And then there'll be like an inlet right there by that culvert. So then it can take all that water that comes that way, you know, basically across that lower line where all the water is sitting now. It's gonna go right through that and then kind of around the trees there and then, just basically a straight shot up to where it meets where the lagoon line, the main lagoon line is. That's the far straight line here. It'll run right beside that one.
4,650.
So
Yeah,
you're gonna be on the
But
same
like-
side as Williams's in the ditch?
Yeah,
So be in the ditch all the way out?
no,
No. Up
No.
to the field, goes to the field.
it goes out into the field,
yep, the riser at Tim Anderson's right there.
goes out into the field.
Yep,
Is there a row of trees over there?
So it should be this way, it goes down.
Here's this is north. This is north, actually. Yeah, so if you wanna look at
So it
that.
really should go this
No.
way.
Yeah,
This is-
Because Tim lives here. So you see where they're pumping it out. They figure it's a full high, they put it in there.
So it's like that.
Solid.
But that's,
Because if you look at it this way, or
I know they
going
follow
by
that
the
wall,
center,
that's
Spring City
on the
Creek.
corner.
no,
They would have to.
I mean, if you look
south
this way,
along
you know,
yeah,
where there's-
I mean,
I see what
really.
you're saying.
Yeah, until they get out of
Yeah.
there. Sure.
If you put it this way, this is north.
So,
I mean, I think
so I
that's
have a
really-
question.
Yes,
Yeah.
We're redoing
Yeah.
our sewer and our water lines, and while they do that, they're gonna be redoing our grade for our water drainage in town, since we don't have curb and gutter. Has this been given to SPN so they know, I mean, since that's part, like, this is the area of our project coming up, so they know that we're gonna have drainage that way.
They
That
know
makes
about
sense.
it, Jeff knows about it,
Okay.
we talked about this when we were here.
That way most of our,
This is basically helping to drain that side of town. I mean, the way it is now is the ground is full. You
Yeah.
can't take anymore. So you gotta have something out here. Like now, the water's not even getting there.
yeah, that's what
With
I'm
all the
saying, so
drainage.
does SPN know that we wanna drain this way,
Yeah.
so while they're engineering our plans, it's all gonna be graded to go that way?
Yep.
Okay, good,
We actually just got our plans back from him.
yay, it's exciting,
Can we put tile through town while we got the roads
yeah.
tore up,
I don't
buried
know.
underneath and tie into all this? Is that design big enough to do that?
That's,
I mean, as long as the roads are tore up,
Yeah.
what's wrong with putting a little tile there?
But then you'd be trouble, running trouble when you get into town,
Yeah.
They've done it before.
unless you do a intake, you know,
Right.
here and there.
What they do by, where, right over here, by, it starts at Chris's.
Starts at my house.
Yeah.
So this, I don't know if anybody's aware, but they started, I don't know, was that 5 years ago? They went from,
Adam DeVries,
Adams.
right?
They did
Yeah.
yours, Adams.
so Second Street, the end of Second Street, Cornell, they started out there, and it goes to that ditch, and then it comes back up to the lumberyard corner, and goes up to my house, and there's an inlet at my house. There's a tile line that runs.
What about across the
Yeah.
street from me, and then across the street from me, they have.
And then we did that over there too,
Yeah.
and went into the drain pipe up by DeMarcus, across from DeMarcus there.
There used to be one on the corner.
It's there, the inlet's right there in the corner up by,
This is gonna be,
yeah.
what I call a capital investment.
Where's the town?
The thing with us doing our new water and sewer, right now, you know, our old sewer is just like a tile right now. That's where our water's, this excess water's going into that, and we've got too much, it can't handle everything. And if we put in new sewer line, new water lines, that new sewer line's not gonna be able to, it's not gonna take any of this groundwater into it. And if we don't get rid of some of this groundwater another way, we're really gonna have trouble. It'll just spread further into town, the groundwater will. Yep, and it'll be worse.
I do think Aaron's got a good point with that as far as if that isn't part of their design, which I don't know, it might be or not, but if, which I think this is great, but if it can accommodate that additional water, it'd be fantastic, right? So-
Elton's flat. There ain't no drainage.
It doesn't drain.
Well, Pete, you talked to me the other day, tell the council what your cousin and stuff does, or,
Yeah, so, my brother-in-law basically does, approves plans as civil engineer for the state of Minnesota, and in their department basically is the DENR for Minnesota. Anyway, I talked to him about some of our issues, and, one of the things he mentioned is similar to what Dave just mentioned, where, because we would no longer be dewatering the town, which essentially because the sewer is dewatering the town today, that groundwater then is gonna go somewhere, right? And assuming, making the assumption that if it can't go into the sewer, either that groundwater level rises, or it goes into basements, or something else, and eventually then it will work itself back into the sewer, because, it doesn't have anywhere to go, and that sewer line is gonna always have that pressure there on it, so, if unless you're able to then relieve that pressure, you know, you could be going back. Essentially what he was saying is, we could be going back and doing the same thing again 10 years later, because we're not able to get rid of that groundwater issue. So anyway, what he had suggested, and he's had other towns that have similar issues to this, where, to like exactly what Aaron's saying, is looking at having drain tile in. Now, of course, there's rules and regulations which I don't have any good working knowledge of, as far as distances that you could put that drain tile from sewer lines and water lines and whatnot. But what he talked about is putting in drain tile in about at the level of the the sewer line, so you're able to pull and some of that groundwater out of the system, out of the towns itself. So, of course, we're gonna always have, because the town's so flat, we're gonna have rain and stuff that sits on the ground, and there may not be much we can do about that, other than a few instances where we have spots that can take some of that surface water away, but for the water that's further down, we would need to have something to address that. So that's what he was talking about, is having something in that design to be able to address that water. So that would be, I guess, that was one of my questions, just to make sure, is that in our scope of work for SPN, is that something that they're looking at to accommodate? Knowing that it may cost more, it may add to the scope of work, but if it means, you know, we have to spend another $250,000 or whatever to do that work, it may be worth it if we don't have to turn around and redo the whole $6 million plus worth in 10 years from now. So anyway, I think it's, like I said, I'm not a civil engineer, I'm not an expert on it, so I bring that to you guys to work with SPN on as far as what their recommendations would be on how to try to address that, so.
Well, one of the biggest costs with tiling is digging it in, the digging. Tile doesn't cost so much, it's the digging. You've already got a hole there for the sewer line. You've already got it done. That's kind of my thought.
Well, my thought on it is like, we're running tile through town, you don't need to, if this is a $100,000 backbone investment, what this is, in order to make full use of what we really need for the town. I mean, look at your 6-inch single wall tile, which you could run through town, it's $1.90 a foot. That's peanuts compared to your backbone infrastructure that's already spent.
And that groundwater has pressure. People probably don't think of it that way, but it's pressuring the walls and the floors of basements, and you'll have it pushing right up through the floor, you'll have it pushing through the wall. Some walls will collapse even, and it's because of that pressure. And right now, our tile line is our sewer line with the tile is acting like a tile line. It's got holes in it, just like that. So you close that up and that water doesn't have that to go into, it's gonna create extra pressure in your next weakest point. I don't know where that is, but probably somebody's basement.
What do you think there, Steve?
I think they're absolutely right. I know Jeff is aware of this. We've talked about this drain tile. That's why he wanted the prints and stuff for, you know, we sent them to him, and we just got them back, so. I haven't heard from him, or I haven't heard a word from anybody, I guess, so. And yeah, I definitely do think there's gotta be something tied in with it. I mean, it's dumb not to, you know? You gotta drain it somehow. Said it's just not surface water, it's the ground underneath, so.
Right.
Our clay tile sewer line right now has probably already been acting like a drain tile for the last 20 years.
That's all
I
it
mean,
is, and it's just wet
it's
enough
maybe
now.
longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Life
so-
expectancy of that is 25 years.
Yeah.
That stuff has been in the ground since.
Well, we were talking about that to somebody today about that, and he figures it's probably been in there 70 years.
Yeah. Wow, there you go.
That clay tile.
long time.
It's shot. It's laying in wet ground. Every joint, there's a joint every 2.5, 3 feet.
2.5, 3
It's
feet.
shot. Every one of them leak, so.
Need some putty?
Super glue?
Cement.
Well,
Got some
how
Elmer's
many years ago did we reline the beaver?
Well, that would have been back when we did the lagoon, so 2000.
10 years ago.
2010.
We relined one of them with that clay line. We went in there and put plastic line in there, but who knows if that's even holding, you know?
A lot of times what happens with that stuff too, is whenever there's a service line, that water gets in there, in between that liner and that clay tile, and just pushes it in. Well, that ain't the way to go either, so, that's just a Band-Aid.
Yep.
With what you're saying, what everyone is saying, how much time do we have before it goes into everybody's basement?
It keeps
It's already there.
It keeps raining. I got it in my basement.
Yeah.
No?
So, is it feasible to wait and get this done later along with the project? Or is there something?
I'm not gonna sit here and pump water for another 1.5 to 2 years constantly.
So
This is ridiculous.
So this
Yes.
is a.
Tomorrow. would be
Tomorrow.
fine. Yes.
Yeah, we will.
I move that we, I move that we do it.
I'll second
Normally, with the price of this bidding, it has to be bid out. We have a codified law that allows us to forego the bidding process. In your motion, we must state why it's an emergency and why we are,
I'll read it.
says, state the basis for the emergency and for the selection of the tiling contractor. So,
The basis of the emergency is that we are drowning, and we need to have this plan that was presented this evening done yesterday. So I move that we go ahead, go forth, because right now we do have an emergency of water, sewer, and a lot of other things.
It's a health issue.
It is a health issue.
You
Put
can't
that
have
next-
sewage in everybody's basement.
We can't have sewage in everybody's basement, that's, yeah. So that's,
I'll second.
I think Dan already did.
Oh,
Yeah. Then, do you wanna talk any, Mike?
Yeah, we talked.
Before we go any further.
We've been visiting with
Mike,
them.
we're gonna be going across Mike's land and.
Yeah, they're coming across the land I farm and,
Are you gonna farm this year?
hopefully.
There's a tile put in.
And I'm gonna, make your line a little bit bigger coming from the storage units. Add on to 2 inches, that's where the 8-inch comes in. They were just gonna do a 6-inch. And I'm gonna clean up some of that on the north end of lines with a little more tile.
And then, were you gonna pay for, to go?
And I'll pay for that extra 2 inches.
The extra 2 inches of line,
That'll be mine.
he's gonna pay for the extra 2, that's at $1, about $1.30 a foot, is what the difference was.
Yes.
now the bigger line, going out here, these 12 inches,
Yeah,
you're gonna have enough capacity to take on Mike's extra and if we run line on some of these streets, like we've talked about a little bit tonight, I know that we haven't voted on that, but we've talked about it.
Mhm.
If you do that, do you wanna consider having bigger line going out? I mean, you might need an engineer to look at this, I don't know.
well, we may have to go to it down the road, we might have to put another line in there sometime.
Yeah, that's.
Because we have to have this, and we're looking at a 12-inch from the United Parish, is where that other 12 inches from the United Parish straight west along our sewer line.
And that'll be down right beside it. too.
That will be down beside the sewer line that's there.
There's a 30-foot permanent easement right there, so we, basically what we're gonna have is we're gonna have one on each side of it when it gets out into Kramer's here, because of the room issue, so.
But where I was talking about was, like, once we added in Mike's, and then once we, if we do anything down some of these streets, like, kinda talked about.
Yep.
Of course, that's all gotta get voted on, I'm just
Yep.
discussing that we may have to put another big line going out
Yep.
to
Might have to.
accommodate that extra.
Yep.
So,
You just don't know, you don't know what you're gonna have.
yeah, I don't know
Do we have any feel for how quickly SPN can actually give us estimates on if we did need to change sizing on this, what that would look like? I mean, I don't know how quickly they can turn that information, but, you know, if that means in 2 weeks, they can tell us, yeah, we just need to go, the next size is 18 or whatever.
15.
Yeah.
There's a possibility, if we put a 15, there is the possibility that he could put that in, knifing that in. If we go to the 18, then it'll all be backhoe down there, and then this number's gonna change.
It's not gonna cost
Well,
as much to knife it
I
as
got-
tobacco.
Oh, no.
2 tiles.
Yeah,
So,
so,
yeah,
yeah.
I did
I
a
don't
little
know what kind
conversation.
of capacity
Yeah.
they got for knifing it in, yeah.
Scott was initially thinking a 10-inch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right,
And he's, you know, you guys wanted bigger yet, he thought the 10-inch would handle the project.
yeah,
You're doing now,
right.
but,
And that, with that pipe too, that's a lot of water.
yeah.
That's a lot of water.
900 some foot,
Being double walled.
900.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's smooth, that's smooth inside.
Yeah, there's no restriction.
Nope.
Yep. So, I think we'd be pretty close.
I would think. I mean, that's the issue, you can't get it all there at one time, and if you're starting out with dry land, I mean, that's draining all the time when you get it in there, so it can handle, you know, a 3-4 inch rain, where now we can't do nothing if it sprinkles.
That's a 1.3 million gallons of water a day.
For 942, yeah. I would think.
So that's a lot of water. That'd be a lot of water.
Yep.
But again, you know, any more downstream anyways.
Find out real quick.
So do you know when they'll start this?
He says the end of May, beginning of June, but, you know, weather like this, it's,
Every day like this, but see.
yeah,
That's
it
in the day
just
behind.
pushes it back. So,
Otherwise, we're looking by maybe with 1st of June to have it in.
So for future references, for my references, I know that we're, anything over $10,000, we gotta have competitive bids. So what is the law of the city?
It's 50,000, but that's what
As
this,
far as that concerned?
that's what this,
Emergency.
No, I understand, just for, that was
Yeah,
just for my
50,000.
benefit, 'cause
normally. You have to have a bid for that then.
competitive bids.
Yep.
And Scott, no problem, he said, well, that's your business, but he said,
Well, that's all we
you
need to get
can
here.
show his plans to any tile.
Okay.
That was for my
Yeah.
Ready to vote on that then?
Yeah.
We have a motion from Naima, seconded by Deanna, to approve the 2 projects. So it'd be what, roughly 103,000? $. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried then.
It's a good thing.
It is.
Yep. Move on then.
Next before you is the 2018 annual report. Obviously, you've got the overview in front of you, and if you want a detailed list, I have the working papers in my office. I just need your approval.
I'm pumping there. That's the church. That's the church right there. Pumping south right now. We will probably run money later after the fact because of that drainage that's gonna come from the school. That's that culvert.
Steve, do you think, you're gonna need a little bit bigger budget on, spraying this year, or probably, think you're all right?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Cause it's kind of, better elevation. Grades.
Problem you got, problem you got there is this from here on up. So I don't wanna make sure this one's got to go down here
Welcome.
and then come out this way.
John?
So if you put it over here on this side, there's a big hole right in that ditch.
Motion from John, second by Stu, to approve the 2018 annual report. All in favor? Opposed?
Sometime I'll take
Motion
it.
carried. Okay, 2019
The way it's
budget
supposed to
overview.
be.
There's March and April one in front of us.
All in one, it's a good idea.
Questions?
There are no questions. We'll move on to the approve the bills, payments.
I have a question on insurance, is that for a year or is that?
Yeah, that's the fire department and the city liability insurance for the year. Yeah. Yep. And I just have one change, on USTI bills, the second page. Total will be paid is $405, includes, checks that I had purchased for printing.
Who's supposed to be, with, Steve? And, to.
Make motion to pay the bills.
Got a motion from Stu, second by Christina to pay the bills with the one change. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We have a motion from Nancy, second by Deanna to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Alright, reconvene. Thank you, all of you, for your time and effort.
Mayor, can I address the council?
We're gonna go back into,
Oh, executive session now?
no, we're gonna
You gotta put the new council in.
put our new council in right now. Thanks, Mayor. Oh, we need your signature. Did you get Stu's?
Just got them off my house.
Yeah, I will. Well, drop them off.
No.
No,
You see, no.
There's cookies here, it's Naima's birthday next week, so I made cookies, so help yourself to cookies.
Alright.
our new council needs to stand up and read their oaths. We usually just do this in unison, you read it, and add in your information, and there you go.
I, Eric Thompson, have been elected to the office of the
City council is here in the city of Elton. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and faithfully, impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, all duties, accept office as councilperson as provided by law.
And then your signature goes on the right.
Welcome.
Pass them back to me.
election of council president and vice president. President first.
I nominate Christina for president.
What's that?
Gonna vote on it first.
All right. We, have a motion from Christina.
No, for Christine, by me.
Oh, yeah. Just wrote the wrong name down. Christina, yeah, we have a motion for Christina to be the president of the council, from Naima, second by Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Vice president.
I'd like to nominate Scott Stewart.
Yeah, we have a motion from Christina, second by Naima, to have Scott be the vice president. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Committee appointments. We've got handout.
I'll pass one down the paper.
April. All right,
You're each on 2 committees with one chair per committee.
they're on. Okay, then we move on to the appointment. Appointment of the newspaper.
I'll make a motion that we do the Elkton Record as our newspaper.
I'll second that.
Yes.
We have motion by Christina, second by Naima to the Elkin Record to be our official paper. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The official depository.
I'll make a motion we use Bankstar.
We have a second. Aaron,
No, Naima says.
Naima.
She whispered it.
Yeah, she's got to speak up.
Okay, sorry.
We have a motion from Christina, second by Naima, for the Bankstar to be the official depository. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The city attorney is, I guess my recommendation is Steve Reitzman.
Reitzman.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Naima, second by Christina, for Steve Reitzman, our city attorney. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. City finance officer,
Susan. Susan.
Chime in anytime for second, guys.
do we need a second? Second. John? A motion from Naima, second by John, for the city finance officer, Susan Sherman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Acceptance of the volunteer roster, fire department and ambulance.
Just need a motion that we accept, rosters as updated by their chiefs or directors. We put that in the paper because that proves that they're members of our departments for workman's comp and insurance purposes.
So moved.
I'll second.
Naima. We have a motion from Naima, second by Christina, to approve the volunteer roster for fire and ambulance. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Building permits.
Okay. I have obviously a list of building permits here. Clayton Feaster at 402 Kelsey Street, they're putting in a fence in their backyard. Mary Dawson at 310 Nicky Street is also putting in a fence in the backyard, I believe. Kevin Van Dyke at 201 Beaver Street is adding in a sidewalk and patio for concrete on their property. Whitney Carpenter, they put in a fence in the front yard and a possible going to build a chicken coop at 306 Buffalo Street. Randy Mortland applied for a building permit at 209 East Second Street to add on to their driveway over there. And then I had Andrew Erickson, which isn't on the list because it was, it already had happened when he came in to fill out his water bill information. They had tore down the shed in the back property at 406 Buffalo Street, so.
What was the number on that one, that add-on?
509.
There's a, get a copy of those with this,
We can,
just so we have it, if we're gonna vote on it.
you're not
No,
voting
we
on
don't have
it.
to vote on it.
They're just information, no, we don't vote on
Susan and I can,
it.
we look at it, if we have any questions on any of it, then we'll bring it to the
So there's
council.
one that we have to vote on as far as,
It would be like a variance or something that doesn't fit regulations, then it would be more, yeah. Yeah, this is just information. So that you're aware that they're out, if you see something happening and you question whether they have a building permit, you have that information.
Well, move on. The Public Works.
We've just been dealing with continued water problems, working with these guys on the tile project. We got the new bleachers and stuff a couple weeks ago. We got those put together and took them down to the ball field down there. I don't know where they want them or what they want to do yet, so they're just down there. So it's 2 pieces, so they'll have to be bolted together. So whenever they decide where they want them, we'll go put them together. We got that case tractor that we lease, that's at $1 a month for 6 months or 100 hours, whichever comes first. We got that last week. We got the new lawnmower about 3 weeks ago. And when it ever dries out, we'll probably start fixing potholes, so. And then I got 2 applications for summer help, and I'll probably decide on that next week sometime, so.
Did you pick up the one that I had?
Yeah, that's the second one I was waiting for, so. And that's all I got.
Now, this could be a good time, we'll let you, John.
Yeah, hi, I'm John Vasky, thank you for letting me, one of my concerns is some of the, the damage has already been done with the pumping of water. And, I was told, the city's, insurance policies don't cover that, so is that, seemingly that would bring the liability back to the city?
When you talked to them, right?
I talked to them about just off of 3rd Street. I don't know what.
Well, he's out
John
there.
just passed.
Just past, which has been described as Mike's.
Yeah.
And, as, continuing on, obviously too, as we pump water to the south, it affects property, and,
Our water comes out here now, and it comes out here and it goes into this land over here also.
it is,
Okay.
quite frankly, it's a
This is Mike's
bigger
land.
issue for Mike, but it's a huge
Yeah.
issue for all of us, I mean, that
Okay.
are,
Yes, I brought it up to the insurance company. They said because we're dumping the water on our property, it's not, they will not cover it as a liability because it's where it goes from there.
but it doesn't stay on your property.
I understand that. That's their stance. Yes, it's not, so our insurance company will cover it. That doesn't mean the city isn't going to agree to help you out.
That's what that was my questioning,
Yeah.
is what was,
So
I
we're,
came here to get some information as much as anything, and see what, your plan was. First of all, I want to commend you, I think you got a great plan, to construct that, tile in there, and I think it's gonna improve, property I farm, because they think will relieve a lot of pressure. So, commend you on that, but I did wanna know what kind of plans you had in place for,
We don't know what you would
I
expect,
don't know what,
you know what I mean, either. So we wouldn't have an idea.
what
You'd
my
have to bring
losses
it.
are,
Yeah,
but clearly there are damages and there will be losses. I just don't know to quantify that, and I don't know that I can do that tonight. You know, it's supposed to be nice on Monday, and maybe we're going to a dry pattern now, and all evaporate. But, you know, it seems quite unlikely,
yeah.
given the current level of the water table in this area. So, I just, you know, I was wondering if there were any contingency plans.
Aaron and I were talking about it, you know, you guys gotta figure out how much of your land is getting saturated with the water and what it's worth and you know, how much you can make off it and all that stuff to,
Yeah.
how much to compensate.
I see it a couple different ways. Right now, short term, there's losses. In the long term, the city's spending $100,000, which will improve your land
Yeah.
over the future of the deal. So, I mean,
Right.
there might have to be a give and take, but, you know, it's not right to dump water on your property, but it happens every day.
But I shouldn't have to contribute to, you know, I think you're doing a good thing, and yes, I think I'll benefit, you know, kind of, you know, left-handed sort of way.
Right, long run.
But it's not really a,
Short-term fix.
No,
But
it's
tile
not.
is not a short-term fix.
Yeah.
no, it's not.
It takes 2 to 3 years to make that tile
Yeah.
full beneficial.
And as long as you still have to keep pumping,
Yeah.
you know, it's
So
gonna
if
be.
you quit pumping,
it's gonna be a
that
mess.
would relieve my problems.
Oh, absolutely.
The city certainly can't expect you to take that responsibility on an emergency situation like we're in, and then dump it on your ground and make you mad as a landowner.
I'm not mad.
You need to hurt.
But you're
You know what I'm
saying-
saying,
Yeah.
but eventually, if we didn't do anything about it.
Well, we gotta do
we
something
certainly-
about it,
Right.
because, you know, it's no different than if I, I didn't intentionally, an emergency situation ran into your car.
Right.
You know what? You're still gonna want to be compensated.
Exactly. Yeah, because-
So, and I think that's something that, I would, and I'm not I don't live in the city of Elkton. But I, as an adjoining landowner, and certainly have damages, and I would like to, I guess, as much as anything, I'd like to have some information on what sort of contingency plans are in place. Aaron's mentioned some. But I don't know if that's the stance of the whole council, or is.
I imagine
It's
we'll
such
have to
the city of
discuss that
Elkton.
some. We'll have to discuss that some. We are gonna have another meeting on the 20th of May. As an informational meeting for us, with Todd Kays out of Watertown. So I mean, if we can discuss this and have an idea or get back to you before then. You know,
That's nice. What I'd like to do, I think it'd be beneficial to us all, is to maintain a, open and civil line of communication.
Yeah.
That's certainly not a problem on my part.
Okay.
And I can't imagine it's a problem with the city of Elkton.
No.
I
We
appreciate you coming and presenting it, and I'm looking forward to you kind of penciling out what it is that you're thinking. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd be so, as the kids would say, chill. But I do appreciate that.
Well, we are in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
I think everybody recognizes that. But that doesn't necessarily relieve liability. You gotta go back to the analogy that I used.
And I think Mike has the same issues.
Yeah, that's the same thoughts.
Yeah, and Mike's got the same issues.
Yeah, so it makes it, you can see what it does right to this ground next to town where I farm, but I bought a piece from John here a couple of weeks ago, and it makes it clear over to the CRP. I mean, that bottom is all water, and it flows right there, and, so it
And that's
covers.
tiled, so the excessive water
Yeah.
in there is already drained down.
Mhm.
You know,
And
it's
still
a
can't-
function of how much water you're pumping, and there's not enough capacity there to.
Still can't handle all that surface water, you know?
It's surface water and groundwater.
Yeah, combined.
I know the well at the farm is about 15 feet higher than what it normally runs, down the south end of town.
Oh, on your property down
Yeah,
there?
it's like
Yeah.
8 feet from the top, it's usually about 25 feet down.
Shallow wells there, no?
So thank you.
So, we'll have to look at it, I mean, we'll have to discuss it, and then you guys will have to kinda come up with something what you.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't said anything before now, cause I know
Yeah.
you guys got all kinds of problems too.
Yeah,
But at some point, it's gotta be dealt with, you
Right.
know. I like your long-term plan with the tile, but that's not gonna fix the near future.
It ain't gonna help this year
No, no.
out there.
but you guys both can come be thinking about it, and we'll,
Mhm.
I think that's
we'll
fair.
discuss it.
I
That's
think
all
that's
right
fair.
with you
They're
guys?
open-minded and, you know, they're. I think the damages that Mike and I have are really undefined at this point. I mean, we don't really know yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
So-
It's gonna continue, I think they're not gonna be able to stop. pumping,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
unless you
continue.
tell Steve to quit pumping.
And that's- yeah.
If we did that, that room would be full too. We can deal with 2 people, not 700.
I appreciate the seriousness of what, you know, is going on here in the city of Alton. I think you got the guy that got to do it, and you're doing what's necessary, but what's necessary is impacting others,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
And I know as a city, we are, like Naeem said, very grateful that you came and told us about, you know, what's going on, because if we're not out there on the front lines, we don't see the direct, you know, all the way out
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
affecting you. So I would say, you're not gonna know the impact of what we're doing until the end of your season, correct? At least. I would say document it,
Well,
so
you
you
just-
take a date, it's this big, you take a date, it's this big, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
cause that's gonna
Yeah.
continue to grow. If we keep having weather like this, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if we would compensate you now, down the road, we're gonna have to do something else. So I would say just
It's,
document what we're doing.
it's gonna be,
However, I was made aware of this meeting, and I thought, you know, of this particular because of the topic that the council's approved. You know, so, well, now's a great time to at least bring this up and start this dialogue.
Yeah.
And to make you
Yeah.
aware that, you know, there are problems here, and let's work together to be proactive in any way that we can be to, you know, alleviate that. You know, and I know these plans, you know, David spoke to me about, a year ago. You know, so, running through property, we sold the bike, and, you know, it's great. I think it's gonna, I think it's a win-win situation, but in the short term, it's, you know, your actions are impacting others.
then it will be really hard to pick a number. And,
Well,
you know, so,
Well, we're really grateful you're allowing us to pump sewer onto your land and groundwater.
I'm not allowing you to.
Well, you're not in here with pitchforks
Yeah.
pounding
Yeah.
us, you're being very civil about it, and we're grateful you're open to having a conversation about what's going on.
Well, so that's what I'm asking for. I don't know, I think Mike probably is too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't speak for him. I just wanted to bring up the, you know, so we have the council added, you know, awareness of.
mm.
Well, I think we're all aware, I mean, we see Mike's lake he has out there right now.
He does.
And yeah, I mean, we just can hope and pray that this weather dries up and
Yeah.
some of this goes away and we can get this tile in and hopefully, start alleviating some of the problems around here.
Well, you know, this isn't, as far as the tile goes, that's gonna alleviate a lot. Why can't they do that sooner? I mean, I realize it can only go through, boy, I don't know. It seems to me they can go through a lot.
He says he can tile the way with those conditions, but it's just getting here, you know.
He's got a
He's got
schedule
a
to
few
keep
jobs to
too.
do too.
It's-
Well, are their jobs more important than the city's in an emergency?
Well, maybe I, other contractor.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm guessing there's not a lot of contractors out there that can do 12-inch tile.
Oh,
I would
I
think
don't
there'd be
know,
limited.
I don't know that, it just takes especially, I realize the difference between the cost, between knifing it in or plowing it in, like you're talking, versus using a backhoe or an excavator to dig it in, you know, that takes quite a bit, it's quite a bit more expensive.
That'd be a lot of.
So there's only a certain amount of people who have a plow that will handle.
The 12-inch. This is 12-inch, this is 10-inch, it'll be 2 inches bigger than that.
I sure would too. You know, why not prepare for the worst? And, you know, this is probably the worst. This is probably the worst it's been in, any of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
You know, since, in the last 200 years. It's probably more water we've had in the last 2.5 years. So, I mean, but I still, you guys have to decide for your city, but I don't think you're overdoing it. I mean, I think you're gonna reap the benefits of it. But that's just my opinion as an outsider. That's really all I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you. Everything else, Mike?
Yeah, I think John's kind of covered it.
Okay.
We just need to keep in touch.
Yep.
And something that's definitely gonna need to be discussed down the road.
Right.
You've been well informed up till now, Wolf, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's been open. Nobody's, you know, I'm, probably really, last conversations I've had were with Steve over here, we're good. You know, it's just, you know, opportunity was here to present ideas to everybody.
Yeah. The only thing I can see that we could do a little better is maybe if we put a couple council people out there to fill gas, the pumps out there so they can see what's going on.
I need to make a
I saw you there. Good morning, I'll gladly help
You know,
gas for you.
Dave, they used to dig tile in by hand. Now we start with that, you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, that's how that sewer would have been put in
I'm sure it's
70 years ago.
7 years ago.
That's what they were saying, that tile.
Probably they didn't have a lot of mechanical.
No,
No.
I'm sure it was all dug in by hand.
People worked hard in those days, didn't they?
Yep, so, okay, well, we'll move on then, but we will be discussing it.
Can I,
Yep,
kinda along the same subject that, since he's on there, and now I've given this to Greg and John's already got a copy of this, and I think Steve got a copy. I was visiting with my brother, and he says that in our sewer water project, we can get resource information from South Dakota Local Transportation Assistance Program. I don't know if you guys are already using them or not, but I've got a couple of phone numbers here, a guy that you can talk to, my brother knows him. The state of South Dakota is already paying these guys, and the best part of this whole deal is they will review the plans that our engineers are coming up with and inform you if they think there's any design or any problems with the plan. Guess what? They'll do it for no cost. I'm thinking, hey, this is a huge project costing lots of money. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a second set of eyes take a look at it. And then the next thing he mentioned is depending on how, and I don't know what's been agreed, these are only information to consider, okay? But he mentioned that if the engineering firm that's doing this, they have inspections when they're doing this, you know, as they're going along, if things are being done right. He says since they're out of Mitchell, if they're charging mileage from Mitchell to Elkton and back again, maybe we'd be better off to take a local engineering firm out of Brookings, and there's a couple of them out there, to have them do the inspections. Less mileage. He says the other deal you get out of that is, he says there's be a little bit less chance of rubber stamp. Okay? I don't know what the last item I had. Oh, that had to do with sidewalks, but we have bigger fish to fry than sidewalks. That's something that can be talked about way down the road.
Okay. So, anything else, Steve?
I have.
Okay, then we'll move on to the bar manager.
So once again, Susan and I have been tag teaming that task. Susan has been handling the financial, employee scheduling. I've been kind of the point of contact and what all's been going on over there. So on April 9th, we hired a new bartender. April 13th, we had putt-putt, and they had a really good turnout. Jean said they had 15 people participate. And then we had karaoke that night, and that was also a really good turnout. The paneling was installed, and the painting was partially completed. Did we figure out what's going on with the compensation for that, Dave? So it's not done, it needs to be finished, and some of the paneling is ruined. There's no way to get that paint on the paneling for the poor job that was done. And the bathroom definitely needs a second coat and touch-ups done, but we need to go back in with some paint thinner as long as it doesn't ruin the tile in the bathroom especially, and remove all that excess paint. May, just upcoming events in May, we're looking at doing a painting class and some trivia if we can get them scheduled in time. June, we have the poker run, obviously, so. July, poker run. And, June, flipping around, we're looking at doing bar Olympics, so it'll be different activities people participate in, small prizes. And then I also want to implement a bar capital improvement plan, so that'll be done by the new committee, for our committee assignments, basically what we need to get done in that sector, whether it's redoing more of the paneling, redoing the bar itself, making sure the back patio doesn't flood, remodeling the women's bathroom, fixing the problems that are there, categorizing them in way of need, and then what each is gonna cost and how far out we can plan to do that.
Okay. Anything else there?
I had a phone call from an individual as far as the bar manager position. He will be sending me a resume.
Move on then, finance officer?
When I'm not at the bar. Sounds bad. Obviously, in your report was my big thing to get done today. I will be going out with Scott, I guess, to code enforcement, a training in Pier next Thursday. I plan to attend two field trips in the coming weeks with my kids. The Brookings Register, we advertised in this magazine last year for Hero Days, the Suddenly Summer, so he came by again and asked if we were interested.
The email I got from them didn't have a deadline on it.
This deadline says May 17th. So last time we did, it's like a quarter page. So this was advertising Hero Days. Obviously, I don't believe this comes out in time for Harvest Festival to hit that, but, it's $180 for a quarter of a page. So
That's a half page that we did last
that's
year.
a half, okay, so that was $300.
And we split that amongst the bar
Yeah.
and Hero Days.
Yeah,
Split it.
so, and I think even the community club pitched it.
I think that could spend some.
I don't know if that's something we wanna do this year. I mean, I don't know that we have a whole lot of advertising to do for.
That's at a different time than, what about advertising for the Emmett Fest or any of that stuff in there? Do we do any of that?
What about baseball?
That was on there.
Baseball tournament.
That was
Yeah.
on there. The poker run is on there.
Anything
Well,
like
yeah,
that?
they
It's on there?
were, all the events were on there, yeah.
Oh, it's all,
But
It's not,
it's not, the Hero Days isn't the same time as this event,
right.
as Emmett Fest and stuff, so I don't know.
I don't think the city really has any involvement in our Hero Days ad,
Right.
like it did last year,
Right.
because we changed the date. That's on us.
But the Emmett Fest and that would be, dates would be in there.
They're not going to be in here if we don't advertise. This isn't the same thing as the tourism thing. That I fill out differently and they'll put it on their website. This is just Brookings Register. They send this out in their
Oh.
paperwork. It's a totally separate thing.
Did we feel like we got a benefit from it?
I don't know. I really don't know.
The only thing I could see us doing is economically promoting our town for our businesses. And, I mean, other than that, I mean, we have the locker, we have railroad, we have cold store, we have Elton Electric, we have concrete. I mean, we have our local businesses, if we all wanted to get them together to do something, or just to promote Elton, but we don't have any events to promote as a city.
Does that come out just once a year?
Yes.
Alright, so my part of that is if it's $300, I would feel we'd be better off spending that money ahead of events in the local paper. Cause if somebody gonna sit there with their calendar right down, oh, Elton's got Hero Days, we're gonna put that on the calendar, and then are they gonna forget about it 2 months later?
Right, yeah.
But I'll put the Hero Day stuff in the paper for free.
So, I mean, and we could even advertise in the Brookings Registry, you know, I mean.
Yeah, and that's only gonna be, you know.
Do we save the $300 and do more advertising in the local papers
Just
at
beforehand.
the time of the event instead of
Right.
one time a
Well,
year,
and
3
this-
months before it happens?
The city doesn't pay for any of our Hero Days ads, that was the city didn't pay for any of Hero Days ads or anything like that. We split that one as the bar type of thing, promoting the town and what the bar had going on. Hero Days does all of their own fundraising and sponsorship and advertising.
And that's kind of what I thought. We were not going to probably do it. Other than that, that's all I have. Unless you have questions for me,
Anybody have questions for Sue?
trying to keep running along.
And if not, fire department.
So we had that loan out for that tender truck for 5 years. And next year would have been the final payment on that. That was split 60-40 between the city and the townships. And fire department paid that note off, so that truck's paid for. We also have a lease of a side-by-side through Interlakes, and that's a $200 a year maintenance to get a new one, and so we just swap that out, so we have that. That's about all I really have to update on. We did do hybrid testing on our SCBA tanks. That has to be done every so many years, so we just completed that. We had an event here a couple weeks ago, I haven't heard it mentioned, I don't know if it was planned to be brought up or not. There was a water issue out of the women's bathroom. And, I don't know I know this has happened with me being here for doing different wedding dances with the fire department and just different events in the community that, and I don't know that it's ever happened in the men's, but I know that women's bathroom is overflowed several times. Fortunately enough, the last night when you guys had bingo up here, fortunately enough, I happened to come back up front and there was water running out of that women's bathroom like crazy. Greg was here, he helped me clean it up, and, I don't know if there needs to be different toilets installed, different hardware, I don't know what, I have no idea. I just know that this problem has happened more than one time, and I'd sure hate to have it happen when the elderly are having their dances here, you know, or something like that. I mean, I don't know what can be done or needs to be done, but I know it's happened more than once, so I just wanna make sure that the council is all aware of that
Do
issue.
we need, do you think, check all of them, or is there
It's
particular?
one of the center ones, cause it happened twice that night, cause I went in and cleaned it all up and called Gary. Gary came down, couldn't figure out what was wrong and left, and then when I left, I checked it again, and everything was dry in there again, and then I saw that you guys had to clean it up, so.
And I know that, because the reason I came up here is because somebody had plugged our toilet in the back. And I know that Molly, my wife, had came up here and used this bathroom, and when she left, she thought everything was okay, I mean, you know, and so I was coming up to get a plunger, that's how I caught, I mean, otherwise
Might have run all night.
cause I had already came up and just double checked to make sure that the front door was locked. And I'm like, well, I wasn't gonna leave our bathroom in that state, so, but that's how I caught it, and, you know, I'm sure she flushed it and something stuck on that toilet, you know. Like I said, I don't know if you could put more industrial type parts in there, better toilets, like I said, that's not my area of expertise, but, yeah.
Right.
I'm just,
Yeah, we gotta just get them to check it and
It's gotta
get
be
it
one of
checked
those
out
center
for us.
two.
I can call Shelby and take care of it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
and that's, so I guess, I don't have any other questions, or
Okay.
any other thing that's reported in the fire department. Any
Okay.
other questions for me?
How about on the ambulance, anybody?
We don't really have anything. We're gonna be doing another CPR class for the community. Aaron and I are in the process of planning when we're gonna have it. It's free to anybody to come and we'll be certified in CPR. We had some young people, I think Aaron talked to some of that program. We're gonna do a first aid course, stop the bleed stuff for the kids, teach them CPR.
What's the date on that?
They don't have that set.
So that will
Do
be
you?
for the adult CPR.
Oh, no, we have the kids one. We are doing, the first aid is, June 12th, at 1 o'clock.
June what?
Kids CPR?
It's for the park and rec, kids
Park and
can
rec.
sign up for it.
And it's when?
June 12th.
At what time?
1 o'clock.
Let's just do the adult CPR that night then.
Yeah, you know.
Let's do adult CPR that night and we'll do it June 12th. It's free to anybody who wants to.
Isn't that the Harvest Festival?
Yeah,
It's the,
Oh.
it's Wednesday after.
that's the Wednesday after.
Okay, 10th and 11th.
Yep,
10th and 11th.
I was like,
cause I'll be gone that day. I leave for Piers that day.
I was thinking it was 12th and 13th, that was last year.
Are you doing finance officer school?
Yes, ma'am. Awesome. Cool. I won't go for human resource one just cause my daughter will be a little miss out.
I need to go to another one because I'm not gonna make that one.
All right, we'll move on. The
Chris
library.
has one more comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will the city council be having a float in the parade?
Good luck with that.
Well, what?
Just Greg on that.
The city council.
Most of us are already in other fields,
I do
right?
color guarding.
Oh,
He's gonna do
okay.
color guard, I got soccer.
Well, the mayor can ride by himself.
I like that.
Bono,
I've also rode with the whole council too.
class of 79 is supposed to be having one.
Wow.
Bono,
But yeah,
That's cool. Oh, will you be coming back every month for report?
No,
Okay.
I usually try to ask them to,
a lot of months we don't have anything going on, so I mean, nothing to really, nothing.
so if you have nothing going on or something, you always let Susan know
Right.
that we don't
Yeah,
have.
and if you guys got any questions for me and need me to be here, just let me know, I certainly will.
We just love
Okay.
seeing you.
All right. All right, we'll
library.
move on to library.
Sherry apologizes that she couldn't be here, but left me a long-winded report. Story hour has ended for the summer and will resume in September. Kids can still check out over the summer and are encouraged to join the summer reading program. Daycare delivery has also ended for the summer and will resume in September. 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten reading program is going well. We've had our first participant reach 1,000 books and are waiting to see who will be next. Jump-a-thon results, this year was the 34th annual Jump-a-thon fundraiser. There were 75 kids from grades 1 through 6 participating, and they raised just over $3,500. There were 47 collecting $35 or more and will receive a t-shirt on the Elkton Elementary Awards Day on the last day of school. The top 3 collecting the most money received money prizes. First place, JJ Bushman. Second place, Tyler Hagan. Third place, Brandy Harold. The kids break into groups and jump rope and shoot hoops, ending with a little dancing at the end. Everyone received their own jump rope, bottle of water, and a snack. They had fun and have already been asking when we will do it again. Summer reading program is A Universe of Stories, kicks off on Wednesday, June 19th at 10 a.m. in the South Gym with Mr. Twister and his Balloons in Space show. He will also have balloons, swords, and puppies for sale after the show for $1 each. Registration for the summer reading program is Tuesday, May 7th through Tuesday, May 21st with no late registrations allowed. Library inventory. Each year, the school library conducts an inventory of the last 2 weeks of school. This year's inventory starts May 13th through May 24th. All material needs to be returned by May 10th. No checkouts allowed during inventory, but the computers, newspaper, and magazines will be available, as well as interlibrary loan and ebooks through South Dakota Titles to Go. Annual report to the state library has been completed, and the next library board meeting is Wednesday, May 15th at 5 p.m. Any questions? Ask Sherry.
Well, we'll move on, Park and Rec.
All right, I'm Georgie Jensen, if you guys don't know who I am. I'm one of the 3 that are doing it, if you guys wanna take one and pass it. Please do not put this out to the public, because as I was just looking at it, we have met 2 different times, Christy, Kelly, and I, and put it together. I do see there's a couple of dates on there, but just so that you guys have a heads up of what we're doing. We're gonna do games, dance fun, arts and crafts, cooking, photography. Those will be weekly things. Christy volunteered to do the arts and crafts and the cooking, and then Kelly and I are splitting up the other ones. We also have science camps that are listed on there. Plants and flowers, birds, creepy crawly creatures, first aid, we're getting help from the EMTs. Aerospace, Aaron Sherman is going to lead that for us. We're gonna do the babysitting clinic in the morning for those that are interested, and then that afternoon we'll do first aid, which will be part of the babysitting clinic, but if anyone wants to do the first aid, then that will be on there also. And then we'll do an experiment fun day 2. We are going on field trips to the Bramble Park Zoo, Children's Museum, Sky Zone, Gold Medal Gymnastics, and then the outdoor campus is 2 different days. We're gonna do archery one day and outdoor skills. And with the field trips, Kelly Short and I will both be going. Christy said she did not want to go on those, and those will be, also depend on if we have enough chaperones. So we will need parents because there are ratios that we have to meet with that. Children's Museum is the hardest one, but I think we should be fine on that. So we are going to communicate through GroupMe so that parents, if a kid does not show up, we're just gonna send out a message through GroupMe so that they know, hey, your kid didn't show up and we're not losing any. We are putting this waiver on the front, and this is going to be what the parents sign up. I know there has been some issues in the past with behaviors with kids, so we decided with the 3 of us that we are going to do the 3-strike rule. 1 strike, you get sent home. 2 strikes, you get sent home. 3rd strike, you're done for the summer. Obviously, it will take care of those behavior issues. I don't know if you guys have any input on that, or? Okay. That's great. Okay.
Ask me done.
Okay. And then there's also liability waivers that go along with the field trips, so, we will have that so that we get that taken care of right away. So, we have a full listing of everything. We have 2 movie nights for families down at the park, and then we will have to, if the weather is not permitting, then we'll move it down here to the community center. And Susan's going to hopefully print them off, and we're hoping to send it home on Friday in school. We'll get these up on the website so that it's out to the community. It will be open drop off here or at school, and then Christy Kinlan is going to sit at the concert on May 21st and collect any for parents coming into the concert. So The one request, and I haven't been through, I don't know where, I've been told that stuff has been moved, so I don't know where the park and rec stuff is at. We talked about a CD player, I don't know if there's one in there, or if that's something that you guys would be willing for the dance fund.
Depends on how big you want. There's one in the center sitting by the sound equipment.
That's perfect.
And I think it's
We just need a
hooked into
little
the
one.
sound equipment.
Okay.
Last time I saw it, it was anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of it's in that cupboard, or that closet, in the actual community center, like in the big room, in there, or just in through where the tables and chairs are kept in the back.
Okay.
And it's not organized. I wish for an inventory list for you guys, but we didn't get it done.
Okay, sounds good.
I do have a question. Will this go home with preschool too, since it'll be open to them since they start kindergarten? Okay,
We'll do it all the way to school through sixth grade.
awesome.
And that's the thing, I did give Susan the stuff too, and, if people wanna pick it up down here, cause I know there's homeschool kids, or, you know, other people coming in, so.
So
you know.
is this ready to go?
She is going to email you the updated one, so
Okay.
don't do mine, do the one that Kelly
Okay.
emails you.
And so I'm assuming we want this front and back, and then this single page?
Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good.
Can we put it on the CHS board?
Yes.
Can we get it up there?
Yep.
I think it was wonderful.
Looks like you're gonna be busy.
I'm so glad you guys are tag teaming it, the three of you. It makes sense.
Well, and that's, I mean, we didn't want it not to happen, so it's kinda nice, and Christy said that she was interested in those two and work and stuff, so. Good.
Thank you.
Alright, Dr. Tournament,
Hold on.
you have something?
Yeah, I got the rest of the estimates on that concession stand, from the plumber and the electrician, to go along with, what Raven Construction sent in. So,
Okay.
match that up with what you guys have over there.
Okay,
Susan has the rest of it, I don't know where it's at right now.
we will get it,
Yeah.
I'll have it by here for the 20th, if that works.
yeah.
And then as far as the park, there's nobody running the concession stand for baseball. If anybody's interested in running a concession stand, let us know. There's nobody who wants to do it.
What does that entail?
Running the concession, right?
What was there?
You gotta work out with Christina, she was gonna pretty much deliver all your product.
Okay.
All you gotta do is be there on the games and
think
popcorn and stuff.
So basically, I would bring you all of your candy, your chips, kind of thing. I mean, that's an option, or you can go to Sam's Club and get it all yourself. I know a couple different organizations looked at it as fundraisers, but doing it 4 nights a week just killed that idea. There's not enough manpower in any of the organizations I talked to actually go through and do it.
Mike's interesting.
It's a pretty big concession.
So, if anybody is interested, please call Susan, let her know that you are interested.
I did it for the baseball team last year, and I actually had to go buy all my stuff and bring it in, and I think we made like $1,800 for the year of baseball.
Okay, you stand in line after me, I'll be thinking about it. 1,800, that's nice, that's
You can watch the ball game for free. So
There you go.
Do you have a baseball schedule available if anybody wants it? That way they can kind of know.
I got ours, but there's like 5 different teams. I think there's 3.
We did
I mean,
last
is it
year.
our responsibility to have concessions?
No.
As a city, I mean, we
No,
got bigger
it's-
fishes to fry than worry about concessions at the deal, but
Is it like posted on?
I would like to,
It's been
I'd like to
posted
see
on
it, but.
We get posted on the Facebook page. I mean, we advertised it last year, nobody
I just wondered.
was interested.
You know, a lot of nights down there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But you got some of these young men that like to make money, so.
And that's why I brought it up. If somebody wants to make some money, it's easy money to make.
Yep.
You know, if there's a group that wants to make money,
They gotta have a lot of people to work then.
Okay,
Now, so.
soccer tournament, do it on Saturdays up there.
So this would be an open, adult league soccer
Adult
that
league.
comes from outside of Elkton to play on our fields. So my only concern coming from the soccer association would be if we have games out there, we have to have some kind of scheduling going on. So they either have to come straight to our association and say, hey, can we use it these days?
They're looking at Saturdays, so we gotta, and we can get together probably with you guys.
Yeah,
The gentleman works up here at the locker that brought it to me.
because we won't have, I mean, the only thing we'd have during the summer would be our Little Kicks program, which is, we don't have dates set or anything. So, I mean, come fall, then we'll have our league season.
So we need to get a hold of him and meet with him.
Okay, yeah, just, you can.
But he was looking for Saturdays. They were wondering about the food that, I know they wanted to bring that taco, truck in. I think the guy's out of Pikeville actually. And I think the main thing there is if he's coming in here, we need to make sure he's
As a
paying
sales tax
sales-
license
sales-
with the state of South
Yeah.
Dakota. And if you guys are talking about peddler's license, that would fall under that as well.
Yeah.
And that also includes all your health, your food safety, like you have to have ServSafe certification to run and has to be state inspected.
Yes, we'll have to have that, because they come out of Pike, Minnesota anyway, but
Coming into South Dakota though, once you cross the
It's
border,
different.
it's South Dakota certification, not Minnesota.
right.
Safe Serve is nationwide though, isn't it?
Yeah, but then you also have to be inspected by the South Dakota Health Inspector. Which is just a yearly inspection.
I brought Susan's attention, I know they were in town over last weekend. Back here.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be a private party, but it was open to the public.
But the truck was here,
And that was the white and silver one, not the yellow one, right?
right?
Yeah, so there's two different taco trucks that I still
Oh.
don't compete over our territory.
Oh. Okay.
But the one that was here makes weekly deliveries to Elton,
Really?
every Saturday.
Delivery where?
You call him and say, I want this, and he brings it to your house.
Oh.
So, I mean, we have to be aware of what's going on in our town. That's a good use for a peddler's license.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. We'll move on then to the ordinances and resolutions.
The two resolutions are for our bonding revenues and agreements. Okay, so I brought this to the council last meeting, it's a 9-page long resolution, I went through it, it's basically saying, we're agreeing to their rules and regulations, and we've done it before, so let's just get them, I'm not reading them.
It's the same ones we looked through last.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. We just need motion for each of them, pass them.
The new council that haven't seen it yet. Does anybody wanna look at this?
I'm sure the previous council would.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, your face is strong.
So,
Without objection, I.
Do you guys wanna see them?
Is it, yeah.
You read them last time.
We're just approving the issuance of the bonds and that it's gonna be paid back by revenues brought in by the enterprise funds of water and sewer is what they are.
do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Now you need a motion for the first one.
Okay.
Drinking water.
Do I have a second for that one?
Aaron,
Aaron? We have a motion from Diane, a second by Aaron, to approve the resolution 2019-05.01 drinking water. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. resolution 05.02, clean water. We need a motion. Aaron,
I'll second it.
Scott? A motion from Aaron, second by Scott, to approve resolution 2019-05.02 for the clean water. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2019-0503 is to amend our residential solid waste pickup to increase the residential rate for a regular tow to $14 a month, starting May 15th, 2019.
That was just like $1, right?
Yes, it's a $1 increase.
Name?
I'll second.
Motion from Naeem, a second by Christine, to approve the 2019-05.03 garbage rates. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, move on to new business, extra monthly council meetings. What we're looking at, or was trying to do is, we're doing our ordinance
Zoning
book.
ordinance.
Zoning and ordinance books. And Todd Kay comes down here and meets with us out of Watertown from First District. And what we were hoping, we talked about a little, was maybe, the 20th of May, he would be able to come that night. We kinda got a meeting planned. I guess we were asking if, you'd be willing to maybe just to get that through, so we didn't have to do it on a regular meeting night for the extra time it will take. And I would donate my time. I was gonna see if the rest would donate that night rather than have a special meeting.
Every month?
Well,
It's at
it'll
least
take,
3 or 4 months.
yeah, 3 or
to get
4
that done.
meetings with him.
And I would like to see, to play off of that, like we talked about at our last meeting, adding on the CIP, the capital improvement plan, and the 5-year plan go right along with our zoning. Cause there's a lot of decisions that commingle in that association, and there are a lot of other councils and towns around us that do 2 meetings, and sometimes they're only working meetings, or like study meetings instead of an active meeting, so we can't vote on anything unless it's an emergency type situation. Especially if we're donating our time, I think it would have to be a study session type.
Right, and therefore, if you needed something for a special meeting, it would be a meeting.
And it'd have to be a called special meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's something kinda gotta look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know we have to meet with him and we're gonna have to work through this to get that done. Otherwise, we'll do it, we would add it on and we'd do it right now. He would come and,
Well, would it speed up any processes as far as making things happen a little quicker,
I think it will, I mean, otherwise, we're gonna be sitting here for 3-4 hours a night on regular meeting night, cause you've got all the regular meeting stuff, plus this will break it up, hopefully it won't be a huge long meeting, may only be an hour long, longer than.
And some of the meetings for like the CIP and the 5-year plan will bring in business members, community members, our fire, our ambulance crew, that kind of thing. And we don't wanna have to ask them to come in here at 10 o'clock at night to have a meeting with us. We wanna be able to have it at a reasonable time.
I say let's do it for a couple months and see what happens, and
See how it goes.
if we're kinda hammering it out, and I don't wanna come in for a special meeting for 35 minutes, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
If the first one's, if it's gonna be probably 2-3 hours, let's just do it, and if we do that for a couple months, then.
we can get it done.
Yeah, we can vote on things pretty quick if things move along pretty fast, so.
Well, and these are gonna be decision-making things along the lines of where we wanna see our community go and what types of directions we wanna go. If we wanna be an economic diverse community, or if we wanna be a bedroom community, and making those decisions. So the first meetings are gonna be longer, and we'll have our homework to do, which he warned us of last time. So if we have our homework done, it'll speed up the meetings as well.
I will send everybody an email with the zoning ordinance book in it. It won't have all the updates in it, but at least you can look at it and see if there's any changes that you want to be have done.
Yeah, we don't have any zoning ordinance book, like we have this book.
I guess I could stick it right in the back of them, I guess, I didn't even think about it.
Okay, cause when, yeah.
Right.
it is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, I can do that,
Okay.
thank you. Yep.
So we wanna plan them for the third, the
Well-
20th is the third Monday, right?
The 20th is when Todd is available to come down for May, yeah,
For May.
If we plan it out far enough, we should be able to
right.
make them work, right? So the third Monday, if possible.
Well, we'll see what when he comes to May 20th, when he could do it the next time in, June.
Can we just shoot him an email and see
Or
if
see
the
if we
third
find
Monday
that out.
works for him?
So we'd have an answer by,
That way we have it planned.
yeah. Okay. Well, here we are with the crop loss from city pumping.
Yeah.
So we've already discussed that for now. Okay? Okay, capital improvement plan, 5-year plan.
That's kind of.
Just what we
That's
just
part of
talked
the,
about.
we covered that. Railroad crossing,
So Scott and I are kinda discussing, we've had quite a few accidents at the Cornell Railroad crossing, and if we could even just get a signal put in there. So it was basically said that the fire chief or the head of the ambulance has to go to the railroad to make a request for that and to argue our stance on it.
we would have to have you guys do that. The mayor, it doesn't matter, but they said the fire department chief or the EMT or both, probably.
Yeah,
That's who they wanna hear
and
from.
Christina got a list of all the accidents
Yeah.
that have been down at the intersection, there's been 4.
Yeah, in the last 10 years.
So it would just be like a light?
Well, I talked to somebody who works for the railroad, and they said you're gonna put in the state remote too. Yes. They said the only way you're gonna get that in is if the state's involved.
You know, I know, I've been in town, well, involved for 20 years. And I know back when they put the new lines in, Elkin went along with it right away, and part of it was supposed to be, and the way I understood it, from our mayor at that time, we were supposed to have crossings on Cornell, and the railroad was gonna put them in.
Yep.
But they didn't get put in out here, it's on Main, and, you know, and I don't know if it would be any good to bring that up to them or not, you know?
Well, lights would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've had 2 citizens in the last month and a half say, you know, Christina, I was paying attention, I looked both ways, and I was going, those trains are going so fast.
Yeah.
And one of them said, I looked up and I thought I was gonna die. And I mean,
I mean, Brookings, you know, Madera, all they have is lights on that crossing.
Mhm.
That's a major street, so.
I still almost stop when I come across that every time, just
Mhm.
because I'm
So
happy to
when
be here.
did, it used to be a stop sign.
Used to be a stop sign.
When did we take that out?
No.
I hate
I would
two
say-
stops. I am the first one, I hate two stops, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's one way
Well,
to make
the-
people stop and look, that's one way.
I know 2 of them have been since some stop signs came.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
You know what
And
I'm
the-
saying? I hate
And
the
they were
stop
bad.
sign.
Yeah.
It's just in that awkward angles like this, you gotta kinda.
Yeah.
I think a
Well,
lot
you
of
see
people
the
will start
speed of the
doing it.
trains too, you
Yeah.
don't expect them to be coming that fast,
Well, they're only doing 45.
that's still fast.
Oh, the one that, the one that almost,
Yeah, if that.
that
You
was
have
not
radar?
They're
not going
was too fast.
They're not
No, they aren't moving very fast at all right
No,
now.
and they can't stop on a dime.
No,
No.
I mean,
no. But that's, we would have to have you guys are the ones to
We'll contact them. see what they
contact
say.
them.
45.
Thank you.
We'll
Stop,
put the
start
stop signs
blowing
back
way
in.
back there.
We can put stop signs in, but now we gotta put them in so they're the legal height. The stop signs that used to be there weren't legal.
Oh, that's why.
You know, they weren't legal, they weren't the legal height.
people don't stop.
Yeah, they were
at the
supposed
stop
to
sign
put
out
lights
there.
in when they did the work back in the day. I've been hearing 2 people
It
tell me
says
that.
stop,
Yeah,
that's what it's there for.
You know, we can go to them and see what they say, and all they do is tell us
Right.
no, and if they say no, we'll put stop signs up.
It's gonna be a state deal.
Yeah, and if that's what they told me.
We don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Really anyways, but.
That's what
Nothing
I
beats
told
a
them.
failure
If the
with
state
a
isn't
try.
involved in that, then we have to get the state involved in it.
And they're probably $100,000 for that.
mm-hmm. They're
It's
spending.
just not like a
Oh my
$50 stop sign.
Ooh.
So. At least you can ask them to start blowing a lot closer, or a lot farther back rather than not this close. Cause I got 20/20 hearing and this buddy, I did not hear him, not a look up.
Well, they usually go, what, a half a mile away or so? Or a mile?
This, he did not,
Oh,
he did not at all.
wow.
And the other person, one of the other people, I know that they weren't blowing that fast. This is during the winter and almost got hung up on the track.
You'd be surprised if you're in a vehicle and you just have the radio on, you won't hear that train horn.
No, you won't.
As
I can hear it from in my
how
house.
I know that.
I know, but it's different being in the.
It's
trailer
different.
with the
They're
radio
taxiing.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
They're on the phone.
I was surprised, I wasn't on the phone, I wasn't texting, I didn't have the radio on. And I have 20/20 hearing.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying the cars these days are so airtight that you just have the radio on a little bit,
That's true.
you won't hear anything outside.
Okay. So we'll look into that then and see what we can get done. Peddler's license?
So I have some information on what different towns do for their peddler's license. Basically, most of them require some form of insurance, proof that they have their, if it's food, that they have their certification through the state, that they have their ServSafe up to date. And then it basically gives hours of operation, where they can sell, that kind of thing. Basically, it's gonna protect our citizens from having solicitors at their door constantly, and also protect the city to make sure we're getting our sales tax off of revenues going through town. Anybody wants to look at what we would do, we just have to basically copy and paste from different places and then send it to our attorney to be approved.
Are we looking at charging or just?
My idea behind it would be a very small fee, like to do if, like, the ice cream truck comes to town once a week, they would pay a fee for a yearly seasonal account. But then the compensation for having to do paperwork would be the fine behind if you come to our town and don't do it.
Was this like door-to-door vacuum cleaner sales?
Yes.
People,
Yes.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, so then they don't get their permit and they come to your door, you
So
can
what
turn it
about
in and you can find them.
Schwann's? They fall under the peddler's license?
I
That
would assume they
should,
do.
Who's that?
Schwann's.
that should.
And their company would just pay whether it's $25 or $50 a year. I mean, I wanna keep it small to not inhibit any small businesses from coming to town, like the ice cream truck. They're already, driving miles, they're already getting all their certifications and that kind of thing. And I don't wanna make them go away. I want them to be able to come here, but I want our citizens to be.
What have other towns charged for that, do you know?
One in there is Brookings, one in there is Volga. I should have probably wrote down there which one's which. Volga's was smaller, Brookings was,
$50 fee for
Yeah.
Brookings?
yeah, and there's two different types in Brookings, there's food truck and vendor. Whether you're doing food or not food.
Well, that's something we can decide on by the June meetings.
How far do you take that though? I mean, usually like Elk Nation does like a burger feed outside, for the deal and stuff like that. Does that apply?
I don't think so.
Or is
They're
it-
not going
or is
door
it-
to door.
Or is it, do you consider that like a nonprofit and that's separate?
Yeah.
That how we consider that? or-
Yeah, they're not, as a nonprofit, they're not gonna be submitting sales tax. This is mainly people that you're buying.
Doing it for profit.
We're doing it for profit.
Yeah,
It's
it wouldn't
business.
affect the bands and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, though, like the nonprofits would probably the band teacher would just say the kids are gonna be out this time doing this, just so they're aware.
Oh, yeah, the plants and the,
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yep. All right. So let's just decide on that and
So the biggest thing for that is if you have like whatever they have, the arts in the park and all that other stuff, so everybody there should have a peddler's license.
You can do, so like Brookings with the summer arts in the park, that's separate.
They charge a fee for booth and that's what
And that
yeah,
does-
they
that
charge a
doesn't-
fee for the booth.
And then the city gets, I'm sure.
And they
the
usually
sales tax
charge
off of
the
it, so
sales
they-
tax and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no matter where you are in the state of South Dakota, you have to do your sales tax. But we can make exceptions for that kind of thing.
All right, anything else there? The sheriff's report? get that monthly, they bring an envelope over and tell us what they've been here for and stuff. Any of you wanna look at that, you sure can ask, or look at it. All right. Go into executive session. You have anything? Sounds good.
I just have one thing, so.
Yeah. Person, yeah.
Yeah, we have to go.
We have to go to.
I mean,
Who second that?
John.
Thanks, guys.
Don't forget your, here, John, what's your reason? Like, they've been stated.
Oh, that's, yards and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, personnel.
Talk
Oh.
about
Oh, we have to go for
personnel. Okay.
And who seconded that? I am a major.
I'll second.
Thanks for leading it.
they're good, aren't they?
Tonight?
2 minutes. I gotta go see.
We have a motion by name and second by
Next
Christina.
meeting, bring your friends.
Go into executive session, all in favor?
Aye. Hey, somebody forgot something
Motion
here.
carried. Okay, ready? We're gonna go out of executive now at 9:35. And someone wanna make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Aaron, second?
I say that.
Great. The motion from Aaron, second by Greg,
Yeah, we,
to adjourn. All in favor?
We don't have to go around town.
Opposed?
Lockdown.
Motion carried.
Citizen did here.
Is this a, end to this? Or-